15 years, I have been struggling daily to find a purpose. My burning desire to do that one thing which they talk about in the books, in the movies, in the podcasts. But on most days, I find myself looking for one excuse to be, to do, and sometimes just to get by. If someone said that starting with why is going to give you the rationale for success and your life story, I'd rather say start with why not. This why not, my positive excuse that I give to myself, has led me from becoming a celebrated tattoo artist to a DJ, to a bartender, to a coach, and so many more things. That one positive excuse that let me answer my why with a why not. Why do we make excuses? We make a lot of excuses, don't we? What is very interesting is that I was recently diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and my struggle has been for a very, very long time. I used to get up in the morning very excited. I want to own the world. I want to be so successful. And at the same time, some days I would struggle to get out of bed. I would struggle to take a bath. I would struggle to call up a friend. And what I found in those days was just rationalizing a negative excuse and turning it into, or reprogramming it rather, into something positive. Like, let's say, taking a bath because I got a very nice smelling moisturizer, or I bought a perfume, so I have to step out of the house. That led me to make decisions that allowed me to stand clear of my abysmal experience of being alone, being depressed. So, why do we make excuses? Excuses visually keep you in your comfort zone. It's a nice space to be in, isn't it? I'm going to ask you to reflect back in the last 1 week, the month, the year, and look at what excuses did you make? Why do we make these excuses? Ask yourself that. Why do you make that excuse? We make excuses so that we can simply survive our stress and anxiety. We make excuses to reduce personal responsibility. I don't want to take ownership of my rationale. We make excuses to disengage our core component of the self from the incident that is happening externally. We make a lot of excuses. If if your comfort zone is where you feel you can do your best self, the positive excuse that you have is something that gives you or throws you a line from the abyss of the negative excuse that stops you from coming out of your comfort zone. It's as simple as that. When you make an excuse, make a positive one. Why? Again, I'm going to say, in our comfort zone, we show up as our best self. It's this nice, cozy place that we make for ourselves. It's where we feel comfortable. We rationalize everything that keeps us in this little circle of life. We have to be able to cross the circle. And that is where positive excuses play a very, very interesting part. Let's look at an anatomy of a good excuse. What makes a good excuse? Again, I'm going to ask you to reflect on the last week, the last month, the New Year resolutions, whatever it is that you did, and ask yourselves and structure it in the structure I show you as to where did your excuse fit in. So an excuse has three very interesting components: the amount of control you have over the outcome of the event, the clarity on what you need to do and how, and the extent to which you are duty bound or expected to do it. If you look at any excuse you've made recently, look at it in this context. Reflect on this context: amount, clarity, and extent. It's all about these three very interesting aspects that define the anatomy of an excuse. And I'll tell you what we can do to make them more positive. An excuse is as vivid as your belief. The fact that a joke is funny may be an excuse to tell it, but the fact that it might hurt someone may be an excuse against doing so. Your excuse to tell it or not will either override or defeat the other excuse. It's as simple as that. It's an attitude. A negative excuse can set you up for failure. That's what they say, that's what we hear. But a positive excuse can be your stepping stone to success. Last year, I spoke to a lot of people about this theme because it's a subject close to my heart. Why do you do what you do? What was your why and what was your why not? What I noticed was among the musicians, the founders, the tinkerers, it was all about a small excuse that got them to start what they did. That became the first step. And everything led on to that excuse. Positive excuse, not a negative one, an excuse to do something as opposed to not. What are these excuses that we make, guys? Let's look at that. I'm sure a lot of you would know what these are. I don't care. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't have enough money. I don't know where to start. Everyone else is not doing it. No one cares about my idea, my thought. I can't do it. I don't believe I can do it. I'm afraid of what others are going to think about me. There are so many beautiful, exciting excuses that are always, always there at the back of my mind. In my context, I'm a woman of color, woman, color, and thirdly, borderline personality disorder. So always in my head, what's interesting is that I have these excuses, beautiful excuses. They can stop me from doing anything that I want. But at the same time, my struggle always is to be able to find one positive rationale to pro attitude the negative excuse that I have in the back of my mind. That helps. If I tell you, make that a practice, try it. Now, let's again look at the kind of excuses that are more generic to everyone else. So, we've got the victim excuse. Nothing's your fault. You can't help it. The passive excuse. Life is happening to me. It's beyond my control. The past precedent excuse. Well, you've done it before. You were not able to do it. Why would things change now? Excuses, and that's common to all the excuses I just showed you, or the structures, is that excuses concern you. You are the actor, you are the agent, you are the creator of your negative and your positive. What if, now just what if, work with me, guys. What if that excuse that you had last week, yesterday, day before yesterday, what if that excuse favored a positive action? What if that excuse could motivate you? What if the excuse could explain an act of doing something positive? You are the agent of your excuse. If you're motivated enough by an end to that desire that you have and create a pro attitude to be able to sift from your negative excuses and create a positive one, guided by that one belief, you can achieve the end, whatever it might be, no matter grand or how matter small. So, positive excuse, in my definition, is pro attitude and a belief that explains the action. As simple as that. A pro attitude and a belief that explains the action. I'm going to welcome you. I'm going to welcome you to a time of exponential change. It's possibly the most amazing time ever to be alive in. It is a time where technology, the world, everything allows you to create positive excuses. It is the best time to find a positive excuse, to do something, to start something, anything. They say if a negative excuse can help you survive, a positive excuse can help you thrive. Once you find that positive excuse, you got to make it audacious. This is the second step. This takes time. But what you'll notice is that if you have something to start with, linear, non-linear, you have that excuse, you have the ability to make it audacious, make it big, make it grand. You can make it massive. You can make it transformative. You can make it your purpose. I'm still yet to find mine. I'm still making a lot of positive excuses, guys. Now let's look at some interesting excuses or interesting taglines or mission statements or massive mission statements that could have been potential excuses. So TED says that they have ideas worth spreading because why not? Google says organize the world's information. That's their mission statement. Why? Because if someone else has to do it, why not us? An average human will make 1,000 plus excuses in a lifetime. take responsibility, and try making a positive excuse. Thank you very much.